Picture this. A crypto project raises $700 million before trading, ties itself to a dollar-backed stablecoin, lands billion-dollar partnerships, and promises to reshape DeFi. And all of this come 1st of September. It finally goes live. What are we talking about? World Liberty Financial, WLFI. Some say it's the biggest DeFi launch of 2025. Others warn it could be a hyped-up train waiting to derail. Today, Ryan and I are digging into everything you need to know: the tokenomics, the stablecoin, the deals, the hypes, the risks, and what it could mean for the future of crypto.
And let's be honest, Sean, this isn't just another token meme pump. This thing has real dollars, real institutions, and a lot of eyeballs on it. So everybody grab your beers and settle in. We've got a lot to unpack here today.
Welcome back, everybody, to Dad's Gone Crypto, the show where two dads make sense of the madness of crypto while keeping it light enough so you don't fall asleep.
I'm Crypto Dad Ryan, the guy who always asks the skeptical questions because, let's face it, we've seen enough rug pulls to know not everything that glitters is gold.
That is true. And I'm Crypto Dad Sean, the one who dives headfirst into DeFi's rabbit holes so you don't have to. Together, we are here to break down WLFI in plain language, just enough so we can handle a few jokes as well. All right, so before we get going, guys, we fire up the grill. Please smash that subscribe button, because if you don't, Ryan will explain liquidity pools using fishing tackles again. And trust me, it takes hours. So please, quick, subscribe.
All right, let's start with the why. Why did WLFI even come about?
Well, it began back in 2024. The idea was to bridge traditional finance and crypto. Think of WLFI as a DeFi super app, lending, borrowing, and a stablecoin, all wrapped into one platform.
And the key here is USD1, their stablecoin. It's pegged to the US dollar, backed by treasuries and cash equivalents, so it's not vaporware. The clever twist, the yield on those assets goes back into buying and burning WLFI tokens. So that's designed to create real value.
And they've pushed the narrative that it isn't just another altcoin. It's about protecting the dollar dominance on chain. This is why institutions are paying close attention. All right, so let's understand the launch mechanics, right? 1st of September is the big day. Here's what happens. 25 billion WLFI pre-sale tokens exist. Only 20% unlocks on launch, so that's roughly about 2.9 to 5 billion tokens. The rest stay locked in a smart contract in a lockbox audited by Cypherin.
And that's critical. Limited supply at launch means a squeeze. Futures are already trading between 25 and 40 cents, with analysts like Virtual Bacon calling for $1 on day one. That's a $100 billion fully diluted valuation.
But let's not forget, Ryan, some pre-sale buyers are struggling to unlock their lockboxes and get access. Wallet issues, missing keys. This could reduce circulation's further supply, which fuels speculation.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So let's talk about some partnerships and the big money coming in. You know, this isn't just about hype from influencers. There's real institutional backing here. For example, Alt5 Sigma, a NASDAQ-listed firm, committed $1.5 billion to WLFI tokens for their treasury. That's basically copying MicroStrategy's Bitcoin playbook, but for WLFI.
Exactly. And then you've got 2 billion Abu Dhabi deals with USD1. That's geopolitical money flowing into a stablecoin, which adds to legitimacy. Plus, exchanges are lining up. BitTrue already announced starting to trade pairs, and rumor mills is hot with Binance whispers.
And don't forget the influencer wave. The Tate brothers teased it to millions of followers, which, like it or not, does drive eyeballs. So WLFI is playing the attention game hard.
All right, Ryan, would you mind just sharing some insight onto the tokenomics?
Sure. So we can jump over to a little tokenomics explainer here on Data Wallet, and they've got a whole World Liberty Financial page here, and basically there's a little article here where they're explaining the tokenomics. So you could check this out, go over here, read the stuff. But we can just jump right down to their tokenomics breakdown. We can go over real quick. So their total supply is 100 billion tokens, which, we already know that one. It's a ERC20 Ethereum mainnet token. When they first, so this shows non-transferable, right? Because when they first did their pre-sale, they basically locked all these tokens up, and they locked the entire supply up basically. And then what they've done with that token is made it a governance token. So only governance voting can unlock those tokens. And so through the governance vote, they decided to go ahead and unlock 20% of the pre-sale tokens. So that's what's happening on September 1st. 20% of the pre-sale supply is being unlocked. And you can see here, they did require KYC when they were purchasing. So when putting this thing together, they were being very careful to make sure they were following regulations. Because again, this isn't just some meme coin. This is a real project doing real DeFi work. And you can see here that in their governance, no single wallet can control more than 5% of the total votable tokens. So that decentralizes the governance quite a bit. And then we'll go back and take a look here at the distribution. You've got 35% of the tokens were on the token sale. 32.5% are committed to community growth and incentives. 30% was the initial supporter allocation, and 2.5% to the team and advisors. And again, only 20% of that is being unlocked on September 1st. So it does a good job of keeping the supply scarce for the launch here.
All right, Ryan. So let's chat a little bit now about some of the risks and criticisms. Well, as a dad, we just got to always have that, raise that flag and be cautious because, there could be some serious risks. First of all, that even though they say the coin is decentralized, there's a lot of centralization. Up to 70% of the tokens are insider controlled, which is pretty huge. Revenue split, insiders get 75% of the net cash revenues. Critics say that looks like a cash extraction machine, not DeFi. And then foreign influence with Emirati and other investors. Some are asking who are really pulling the strings. And then past history. Remember the Trump and Milana coins? Big pumps, which led to bigger crashes, but those were meme coins.
And on top of that, there are ethical questions. If a few wallets hold most of the supply, you've got the risk of coordinated dumps. Imagine one dad owning all the beer at the party. He controls how much fun everyone else can have.
And we know if he's a cool dad, there's going to be lots of fun and very little beer left over. All right, but it's a perfect analogy. And that's why even with all the hype, you've got to think long term. Is this sustainable DeFi ecosystem, or is it a speculative launch followed by, crickets?
Well, why don't we zoom in on the actual products? The WLFI app is supposed to be a one-stop shop. Deposit fiat or crypto, access liquidity instantly, lend, borrow, trade, basically an Aave meets Coinbase experience.
And that's quite used for adoption because right now DeFi is intimidating. It's scary for the average person. So if WFI makes it as simple as logging into your bank account app, it could bring in a flood of new users, and that has real potential.
Yeah, and don't underestimate USD1. It's already over $2 billion in circulation. And if it becomes the go-to stablecoin for borrowing and lending, WLFI could lock in massive reoccurring revenues. That fuels the buyback and burn cycle, which props up WLFI.
Exactly. So the ecosystem is in a real test. If they deliver, WLFI isn't just a token, it's an infrastructure.
And now let's talk market impact. If WLFI launches strong, where does it fit in with the crypto hierarchy?
Well, short term, Ryan, I see volatility with about 2.9 to 5 billion tokens hitting the market. There'll be price discovery is going to be pretty wild. But if it stabilizes and the USD1 gains traction, WLFI could rank in the top 20.
Yeah, and some comparisons are being made to Ethereum's early days or even MicroStrategy's Bitcoin move. That's a bold comparison, but the structure, real asset-backed stablecoin plus governance token, does give WLFI a different flavor than meme coins.
Right, so let's temper expectations. It's, people are thinking, oh, could this be a 100x coin? Or maybe it could tank 80% or more because it's a politically tied token. That's why it's always safe to say, don't risk more than you can afford to lose.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there it is, guys. World Liberty Financials, one of the most hyped launches of 2025, billions in deals, a stable coin with real backing, and a token that's about to hit the open market.
Short term, expect fireworks. Long term, it all depends on whether WLFI actually builds the ecosystem that they're promising. Either way, September 1st will be a fun day to watch, I think.
If you guys enjoyed the breakdown, hit that subscribe button. Please post your comments of what you think is going to happen to WLFI on the 1st of September, because every time you don't, another dad will have to explain DeFi using IKEA instructions.
Oh, God. That honestly makes gas fees seem simple in comparison. So,
all right, where's that dad with all the beers? He's going to be my best buddy.
Right. Well, hey, guys, thanks a lot for tuning in to another episode of Dad's Gone Crypto, and we'll see you next time. Stay safe, stay curious, and don't burn the stakes.
Take care, guys. Ciao.
See ya.
The material and information presented in this recording are for entertainment purposes only. Do not misconstrue what you hear as investment or trading advice. Always do your own research. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the guests on this recording are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of Dad's Gone Crypto or its hosts.